All right, today, guys, we're going to be working on learned behavior versus inherited behavior. This is science. So in science this week, we're going to be looking at the difference between what is learned and what is inherited. We're going to be asking questions so that we can compare and contrast the characteristics of instincts, which is an inherited trait, and learned behaviors. And kind of, if you know what learned is, you know what a learned behavior is. Instincts or inherited trait may be a little bit more of what you'll be learning this week. Okay, on today, we're going to ask questions. Do you see that? We're going to be asking questions. So I want you to begin to think of all the question words you know, like who, you know what? I know y'all don't want to see my sloppy handwriting, so let me do this. You're going to want to know who, what, too many A's, where, when, does, was, is, are, just to give you a few, okay? And what are we going to be doing with these question words? They're going to help us to compare and contrast. And you're probably saying, well, Miss Wright, what are we going to be? Sorry, guys, that's not what I wanted. What are we going to be comparing and contrasting? The traits. What's inherited? So the inherited traits or instincts. I'm just shorthanding it for inherited traits, and then LB for learned behaviors. So we're going to be asking and answering questions to help us to discern or know what are your instincts and what is learned behavior. Okay? All right, guys, let's keep it moving. We got a lot to cover today. All right, here's what I want you to do. I want you to pause the video, and I want you to write down what you notice and what you wonder. Pause the video. Great. Now, share with the neighbor. Look at each other's notebooks to see what are some of the notices and wonders you have. Okay. Today you're going to take the FAP. Remember, you should only take about 10 to 15 minutes. So I want you to pause the video. The substitute will give you the FAP. All right? It's time to tinker. Okay, here's what you're going to do. You're going to sort the cards, right? And when you sort the cards, you're going to be looking at a few things like, how would you describe yourself? What do you look like? Think about your personality. How do you act? What are your likes and dislikes? And that's what these cards are going to help us to do. How would you describe yourself? Some of these traits are passed down by your parents, and others you learn on your own. Inherited traits. Inherited traits are those physical traits that you have that you got from your parents. So like Miss Wright's high cheekbones? Those are inherited. Like everyone in my family has it. Okay. A trait. Everything living has traits that make it unique. A trait is a characteristic of a living thing. When you look in the mirror, what physical traits do you see? Types of traits. So you could have a shape, like the shape of the leaf. Or you could have a color, like the color of this flower. Or the size is another type of trait, like the size of the seeds. Your eye color, your hair texture. These are all inherited traits. The outer covering, so our skin color, the scales for a fish. Inherited traits are physical characteristics that are passed down from parents to their babies or offspring. The passing of traits is called heredity. See how the mother has orange hair and the son has orange hair. The mother has big eyes. The son has big eyes. Those are inherited traits. Let's determine some of your inherited traits. Do you have attached or detached earlobes? Okay. Meaning if you look at the very bottom of your earlobe, is it connected to your head or is it unconnected? Check. See who at your table. Okay. Let's do this one. Do you have naturally curly hair or straight hair? Check with the people at your table. Ooh. Can you roll your tongue? Miss Wright can't roll her tongue. Nope. Do you have dimples? Are you right-handed? Are you right-handed or are you left-handed? Do you have freckles? Yes, I do. Do you have a widow's peak? Now, a widow's peak is if you look at the front of your forehead, your hairline comes almost to a point right in the middle of your forehead. Check to see if you have it. Ask someone to see if you have it. Do you have a hitchhiker's thumb? Here's our hitchhiker's thumb. Regular thumb. I think someone was doing this last week. All right. Now, here are some inherited behaviors. An inherited behavior. A behavior is the way a living thing acts or responds to their environment. Behaviors that are inherited and do not need to be learned or practiced are called instincts. A dog drools when it sees foods. That's an instinct. They hungry. They trying to survive. A spider spins a web. They do that naturally. No one tells them, okay, it's time to create a web, spider. They do it to survive. A bird builds a nest. This is all so that they can survive. Bears hibernate in the winter. Think about it. What are some other instincts that animals exhibit? Write them in your science notebook. Give me about 3 of them. Human instincts are often known as reflexes. So what kind of reflexes does a baby have? go back. So a baby, does anybody tell a baby to cry? No. Does anybody tell a baby when they hungry? How do they let us know? All right. All right, I'm going to post this video on the eClass page so that you can watch this video on heredity. All right. Now, just like there are inherited traits, there are acquired physical traits. So to acquire means to obtain or get. A physical characteristic that living things might get during their lifetime, like after they're born. Acquired traits are passed down, are not passed down from parent to child. Flamingos are not born pink. They acquire their color throughout their lifetime. Do you know why? Straight teeth after wearing braces, those are an acquired physical trait. The leaf has spots on it because of a disease. A bruise, bump, or scar, those are acquired traits. Cutting or dyeing your hair, an acquired trait. Now, not only can you have an acquired physical trait, but you can have an acquired learned behavior. Let's see what that is. What is something you are better at doing than other members of your family? Write it down. You acquire or you learn many behaviors in your lifetime. How to make a sandwich, how to write or make coffee, how to ride a bike. Learned behaviors or acquired learned behaviors in animals. A mother bear will show her cubs how to find berries for food. A pet cat may learn that food appears in its bowl after it hears the sound of a can opener. Birds learn where the best bird feeders are. All right, as a part of your homework, I'm going to post this biology learned behavior video, and you will watch the video. After you watch the video, you will, on a piece of loose leaf paper, as a part of your homework, you will write down some inherited traits that you know, acquired traits, physical traits that you know, and learned behaviors that you know. Okay. How does it all happen? How do babies inherit their parents' traits? Why do robin eggs hatch into robins and not eagles? And why do deer have fawns and not rabbits? All right, here's where we talk about genes, and we're just going to do this real quick. Traits move from parents to their offspring through genes. A gene is a tiny part of a cell that contains traits. Genes contains instructions that control the growth, size, shape, and appearance of a plant or animal. Every human has genes that control hair color. All right. Now that you've heard about inherited physical traits, acquired physical traits, learned behavior, and instincts, meaning inherited behaviors. I wonder, can you inherit traits from your aunt or your uncle? How about from your brother or your sister? Can you think about that? Now, here's what you're going to do. I want you to go to the substitute, and the substitute is going to give you a science reading activity. All right. Have a great day.